and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where yes, we have so much to talk about following the weekend and ahead of Barca versus Atletico Madrid in the Copa del Rey semi-final coming up on Tuesday night. Could Barca do the unthinkable? We are 4-0 down, but there's still 90 minutes to play, at least at the Camp Nou on Tuesday. We're going to be talking about the potential of a comeback. Can it happen? Could it happen? Should we expect it to happen? All of that is on the way. The excitement is building. So come on, and let's do this. But of course, guys, first of all, what we have to do is catch up on what happened over the course of the weekend. Because, yeah, like I've said before in previous videos, some of my days, especially at the weekend these days, they're a lot more full. So it's been a bit difficult to be here with you on the channel. But let's talk about what happened against Villarreal. Because I've got to say, I thought it was a great performance from Barca. I thought it was a really, really strong showing against what are one of the better teams in La Liga. Make no mistake about it. I don't think Villarreal were so good, to be honest, on Saturday. And I do think they struggle at times in big games. But at the same time, we've dealt there with a serious threat. They do have quality. They do have the tools to hurt teams. We've seen it all season long. And Barca were very, very impressive. And what I would say before we even talk about the goals, that is good ahead of Tuesday. I think we needed this weekend a good performance, a really encouraging result, just to get us in the mood for a potential comeback. If it was ever going to happen, you needed to do well at the weekend, take that momentum in with you, and at least we got that bit done. Because, of course, in terms of the Villarreal game, the 4-1 victory for Barca, the star of the show by a country mile, it was Lamine Yamal. He walked away at the end of the game with the match ball. And I've got to say, guys, the outstanding goal, the real wow moment, was the second goal from Yamal. It was absolutely extraordinary there. The way that he just picks up the ball, first of all, just inside, Villarreal's half. He's moving into their half. There's no danger here. There's absolutely nothing on. And then he goes really wide. They push him so wide there out onto the right-hand side. They were probably thinking, okay, we've got Lamine right where we want him. You keep him out there. You keep him out of the danger zone. We've got him covered. And that's the thing about Yamal. That is what separates him from so many others, most other players in the world. He's still dangerous here. Because the way that he's able to make his way infield there, the way that he's able to just maneuver his way around defenders when it just doesn't look possible to make his way through, he does it. And the finish is absolutely extraordinary. I mean, that is a wonderful, wonderful goal there. Picking out the top left-hand corner. That was special from Yamal. But what I'm going to say now is probably going to surprise you. What I'm going to say now really, really is. Because you know what I think? The first goal and the third goal from Yamal excited me more. And I'll tell you why. Because, yeah, on the second goal, it was amazing. It was a wow moment. But what we saw from Yamal in the first and the third goal, it was something that could really transform him and take him to an even greater level. And that's extraordinary to say. Because look at the finishes. Look at the finishes on both of those goals there. If he can perfect that kind of finish. And what I mean, it's not that complicated. It's quite a straightforward finish there. He's in on goal. He's got the angle to work with. He puts it across the goalkeeper on both occasions. But if he perfects that, his numbers are going to explode. He is going to absolutely rocket in terms of goal scoring because he gets in these positions so often. Yamal will find himself in this kind of area time and time and time again. And a lot of times, we've seen him this season whereby in front of goal, there can be times where he overcomplicates things. There can be times where maybe he rushes or panics the finish. If he can get this kind of finish here, the composure, the clarity in front of goal, if he locks that down, it's going to be extraordinary for us. It really, really is. He is going to have not just one hat-trick a season, not just two. He is going to rack up the goals because the positions that he takes up are phenomenal. You've got players out there, you look at the third goal there, like Pedri, they're going to find him. You've got players at Barca who are going to find those pockets of space. They're going to put you in behind. They're going to get you into the danger zone. And if Yamal can show that kind of composure, that kind of elegance in front of goal to just dispatch the finishes, It's going to be incredible. It really, really is. And I was so happy for him. He deserved that hat-trick. What a moment it was. I thought Barca, in general, guys, played some really good stuff. You know, it wasn't just about the win. It wasn't just about the fact we scored 4 goals. But I thought we played some good football there in the final third, linking up, combination play. That's what we want to see. I like the 4th goal from Barca. You know, quick passing, lots of movement there. Koundé involved as well. Then Lewandowski there with the final finish. And it was just really good to see. You know, good to see Barca building some confidence, scoring goals. We did concede one, you know, from a set piece. Not ideal, but overall, a very, very good performance, a good game, a good win. And that is exactly, like I say, that's exactly what we needed ahead of Tuesday. Because as we do move on then to talk about the challenge that awaits us in the Copa del Rey semi-final against Atletico Madrid, let's just, refresh ourselves briefly. You know, we're not going to talk about this for long because I don't want to, but let's just talk about the first leg, what happened. We are 4-0 down. That is ultimately the story here. Barca have what is a mountain to climb. We have left ourselves in a very precarious position. Now, admittedly, it should at least be 4-1. You know, we had a goal disallowed in the first leg that was wrong. And what I hope at the end of this tie is that goal doesn't prove to be a significant moment. Because I've got to say, coming into this game 4-0 down is actually very different from it being 4-1. You know, 4-1 wouldn't have been good, but it would have been different to 4-0. But at the end of the day, we've got to accept it. Nothing we can do. Nobody's going to help us out. Nobody's going to come to our rescue here. The only people that can put it right are the Barca players. And we have the quality, we've got the players, we've got the belief, we've got the fans behind us. We have the potential to do this. But in order to make this comeback against Atletico Madrid, let me just say this right now. This performance, it must be perfect. Now, before we go on to talk about exactly how we can do that, how we can achieve perfection on Tuesday night, one thing we have to say, there will be no Robert Lewandowski. So if before this game Flick was kind of in 2 minds about who should play as the 9, you know, what kind of attacking setup should he go with, well, things have been made more simple, more clear, because unfortunately Lewandowski there, he suffered quite a bad blow. It was really there, a bad knock against Villarreal. Actually, he has a fracture there of his left eye socket, which sounds pretty nasty. So he's not going to be available against Atletico Madrid. And obviously, you'd want Lewandowski at some point in the game. You'd like to be able to call upon him. Those kinds of goals, they could prove to be very, very important. But that's another obstacle Barca here will have to overcome. Because, okay then, let me first of all give you the best case scenario. Let me give you the very positive outlook going into this game with regards to making that comeback. Can Barca make it happen? Could they actually do this? Well, the one thing that I would say straight away is our whole team, our setup, the way that we play, the attitude that we have during matches, the Hansi Flick philosophy, it is all out attack. So whether we're 4-0 down here, sometimes in these situations when a team is having to make a comeback, they've got to drastically change their style of play. They've got to change their formation. They've got to change their whole approach. Suddenly they've got to approach this game with an entirely different attitude and mentality. The good thing for Barca is that nothing changes. Every single game that we go into, we are full throttle. We are going for it. We are not letting up. It doesn't matter whether we take the lead. Doesn't matter whether we go behind. Doesn't matter whether it's 0-0. The high line is there. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to be advancing. And that is the one benefit here of that. You don't have to change. We know exactly what we have to do. We understand the game plan. We're going to come out with the same philosophy. And we just have to make sure we don't make mistakes. Because then on the other hand, I don't doubt that Barca here can score 4 goals. Because what I would say here, if Atleti scored 4 against us, we can score 4 against them. We can score 4 goals in 90 minutes, no problem at all against most teams that we face. I think the only thing that you'd say coming into this game is, what's going to happen down the other end? Because, of course, the more that we push, the more that we do go forward, the more that we try and force the issue against Atleti, they're going to have chances. I think it's kind of inevitable in this game. It kind of feels like when Barca played PSG all those years ago under Luis Enrique, whereby PSG, they did score in that game, remember? When Cavani scored, everybody thought the game was over. We might need to do more. It might not be here about scoring 4 and having no reply from Atleti. It might be almost accepting, okay, they might get 1. They are going to have chances. They might take one of those chances. Can we respond with even more on the night. We might be talking about 5, we might be talking about 6 goals. And can I just tell you one thing here that gives me hope about everything else? One thing here that I look at, I think, okay, it could happen in this game. And it's Diego Simeone. Now, I've got a lot of respect for Diego Simeone. I think the career that he's had at Atletico Madrid has been absolutely extraordinary. A lot of the times he's really made players better than they were. But the one thing about Simeone is you look at him in big games, you look at the games that he plays against Barca, against Real Madrid in particular as well, the mentality from him, he can't help but sit back. He cannot help now. In this situation, in a second leg, I guarantee you his first thought will be, I'll protect what I've got. I will sit back. I will absorb pressure. I will play lots of defenders, lots of midfielders. We'll be very, very deep, very withdrawn. We'll invite pressure. And he will back his team. He'll back himself to get through this somehow. But that isn't how they played in the first leg. Atletico Madrid in the first leg were very, very expressive going forward. They created chances. They were a real attacking force. And there probably would be more chances in this game for them if they were a little more open to it. But I don't see that from Simeone. I think he's going to revert to type. He can't help himself in this situation. He wants to defend. He wants to be pragmatic. And that can play into Barca's hands. Because I tell you right now, if we get an early goal, that stadium, it's going to be bouncing. Everybody in there will think, oh, hey, come on, this is the time. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm not saying here that, oh, Barca, it's going to be an easy comeback, because I believe we will concede goals. I believe here there will be chances for Atletico Madrid on the counter. There's still going to be space in behind. They've still got a lot of pace in their team, and they can certainly make us pay. They will have those chances. But if we get an early goal, I would just love to experience that. I would just love to experience the potential of this comeback here. For us all to just be sitting at home thinking, could we? Could it be on? Get that early goal. Start the game well. Have the belief that we can do it and just see where you go from there. And I wouldn't force the issue. I wouldn't be throwing players forward from minute 1. Let's play the game on our terms. Let's just wipe the slate clean. Start the game well. Focus on the first goal. Then focus on the second. Go from there. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Don't think, oh, we need 4 goals. That's so many. Get the first goal and you build from there. Put as much pressure on Atletico Madrid as possible. And I think we can make Simeone regret sitting back, soaking up pressure, absorbing our attacking play. That's what he wants to do. Make him regret that plan. Make it so that there will be a point in this game where he's thinking, should I have done that? And now we might need to change. Now we might need to change our entire approach because the game, it's changed. The scenario now is different. Let's ask questions of this Atleti team. Let's ask questions of Diego Simeone. I believe in Barca. I do. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I think they're going to give it a good go. I think we're going to have a team who responds, at least from the first leg, who gives a good account of themselves. And in the end, football will decide. Football will determine who reaches the Copa del Rey final. And let's just hope that by football, I don't mean VAR. So indeed, guys, those are my thoughts ahead of what is. It's an exciting clash, isn't it? I know we don't want to be 4-0 down. We don't want to have to make a comeback, but hey, let's accept our situation. All we can do now is give a good account of ourselves in the second leg. And let me know right now in the comments, do you believe? Could it happen? Is it possible? Let me know all of those things down below, guys. And I'm really, really excited for this one. I'm going to see you after it. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope for something special. Let's hope for a history-making occasion. Thank you indeed for watching. Thank you for all of your support. But until next time, as always, Veshka, El Barça.